So tell me how your company's doing.
So we have a great company. We have more than 20 years of history now. We've started in 1998 in our home country, Argentina, and we've grown to 7 countries since then. We are all, most of our business is in emerging markets. Emerging markets have been doing great and are expected to do great in the future. Today, emerging markets do around 45% of global passengers. And we are expected to go to 65% in 2040, and going from 7 billion passengers in the world today to more than 20 billion passengers. So we have a great challenge ahead, and we are really happy to be in an industry that is thriving. And we think the same of our company.
And why did you go public?
Well, this has many sides of it. One side is we were a private family-owned company, and this was a step into the future for a professional and looking into perpetuity and into growth. You know, we have become a very professional company, very diversified, almost worldwide. We're based in Latin America, but we're also in Europe now, and we see this step as a way into the future, as a springboard for growth into the future.
So, as I mentioned, your stock is actually trading below the IPO price. What is the market not understanding about your company, in your view?
In our view, we went out. We are not financial experts. We run our companies. We know a lot about airports. We don't know a lot about financial markets. We've been talking to our banks and to friends. We went out in a week where volatility started to hit the markets compared to a great time before our IPO. And since we look at the long term, because these are all long-term projects, of course we're worried, but we think this is a great opportunity, and that the future will give us the right.
Are you or any of your subsidiaries going to have to raise more equity?
Not as we see so far. We think that this will give us the opportunity to raise equity if we need to, if a good project arises and we need capital to go into new opportunities. But the company as of today has all of the capacity to invest, do very important CapEx programs that we are doing in 3 of our main companies, in Argentina, in Brazil, and in Italy.
So as you say, Argentina, Brazil, Italy, where are the other opportunities that you're looking at now? Where would you like to expand into? Is it Europe?
We definitely like the Americas, where we feel at home. So we are looking at every opportunity from Canada down to Argentina. Opportunities will arise in Brazil. Brazil is looking for a 4th round of privatizations for 3 new clusters of airports in Brazil, where we are already operating. There are also opportunities in the Caribbean, in Central America. We see that opportunities are coming, and we're definitely looking close to what's happening in the U.S.
And the backdrop, of course, though, is potential trade wars and a pretty aggressive White House administration here in the U.S. How does an economy like Argentina, that's trying to get emerging market status, trying to revamp with a new administration with Macri, how do you think about that?
Well, overall, and more for our industry, anything going against globalization, against free trade, is bad. Argentina, this new government has put Argentina back on the map, open its borders, it's friendly for business, it wants everybody to come and invest in Argentina. I think the government is taking the right steps into putting the country back in the world, and I think they are already getting the benefits of this good policy. But all of the travel and tourism industry, I think, has a threat in the fact that we can see trends of going against free trade, open borders, and so on.
Martin, you mentioned earlier that the share, you believe, or emerging market share of air traffic is going to be growing over the next few years. Mm-hmm. What is the overall growth of the marketplace for you that you're anticipating over the next 3 to 5 years, and what does that translate in terms of growth for your company in particular over the next 3 to 5?
I don't think we can mention growth on our company due to the IPO, but in terms of market trends, what I just mentioned, the whole world will grow in passengers. We're at over almost 8 billion passengers worldwide, the way airports we count them. And the fact that emerging markets are coming in if you take the propensity to fly numbers or the flights per capita, if you compare the US or Australia, developed markets, to Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and all of the places in the emerging markets, India, there's a lot of room to grow. So as people go into the middle class in these countries, as GDP grows in these emerging markets, passengers will grow. And I think the only threat to that is borders being more complex to get crossed.